It is a matter of life and death. And for me, I want to live.
One of the clients once told me that, you know, she says, you have the best job. It's like what you do, you can change someone's whole life. You give them a whole new beginning. And I never really thought about that until someone actually said that to me. But she was right, because people, when they come in the next day after their hearing, if they win, it's like they're a different person.
Generations before us had legal visas, and there was more opportunity to come to the United States. And so what we're really seeing, I think, is a unique time where we're saying we want to constrict things so much that people can't come legally. And to me, it actually shows you can't stop the human spirit, and you certainly can't stop someone when they're in fear for their life or in fear for their child's life. If there's a border and it's an artificial border, they're going to find a way.
It's really to remember what my life was like back in Jamaica. Every time I after the words, I get lost for words sometimes when I really remember what it was like, because it was so traumatic. I'm cooking rice and peas and stew okra. I was told I'm a very good cook. I don't know. I was told. Yes, she waits to get the salt for you. Actually, I've never had any formal training on cooking. It's just once you're in Jamaica, you have to cook. So.
Hi, my name is Lisa Weinberg. I'm an asylum attorney at Classic. This is the office I'm working in today. The file that I'm currently working on is a case for a lesbian woman from Uganda who is targeted because she's a lesbian and because she's a Muslim. In this file, there's more files in the back for this case, but in this file contains human rights documentation of the targeting of gay and lesbian people in Uganda. It contains court submissions and court documents, administrative documents. The layperson's definition, it's basically when people flee to the United States from human rights violations and they seek sanctuary here and they ask for that sanctuary from our immigration system. If they're granted asylum, they're allowed to stay in the U.S. indefinitely, eventually get their adjustment of status, which is what most people call a green card, and eventually apply for U.S. citizenship.
So this is an example of the asylum application. It's an I-589. It's one of the many forms that an immigrant in the United States will end up working on. It looks fairly simple to start, but by the time you're done with it, if you have an experienced practitioner helping you, you might end up with a file that looks a little bit more like this, a little thicker. There's a very high documentation requirement, and basically you end up presenting all personal documents that you have, and you help educate the court to know what's going on in a country so that you would actually provide country conditions. So for a woman to show that she would qualify, she would have to show that she was suffering to an extent that rose to the level of persecution. It's not just bad arguments or a bad marriage. We're talking about really serious harm that is unimaginable in a lot of situations and really rises to the level of persecution, in some cases torture, because the abuse is so bad and that they could not access assistance in their countries.
If you ever wanted to look any of them up, you can just... My name is Valerie Fisk. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm the immigration supervisor at Community Legal Services and Counseling Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. First of all, there's a one-year filing deadline that people need to know about if they're going to come here, that they need to file their application within 1 year of their arrival in the United States. A lot of people don't know that, or they have trauma, some serious trauma from what happened to them. And so it may take them 4 or 5 years to be able to even go speak to someone about what happened to them in their country. And they not only need legal services, they need counseling, they need a social worker, they need people to help them find a place to live and to get settled and get some medical treatment even.
We formed the Asylum Support Task Force and have received one small grant and many donations from the folks at Hadwin Park Congregational Church to pay rent, drive folks around, get them food, heat, utilities, and now we're proud to say so many of them are working, have their own transportation, are contributing and giving back to even the church, not only the community and everything else.
A lot of people, as you know, come with fraudulent passports because they can't get their own because they're afraid of the government. So why would you go ask your government for a passport if you're afraid to be there? And so when you come, if you don't get caught at the airport, some of the people do get apprehended at the airport and they get detained. So then you have the whole situation where someone who could have been tortured in jail or prison is detained, and you have a lot of problems because they don't have access to attorneys, they don't have access to medical services, and here's someone that was in jail and possibly tortured, so you're having flashbacks, and it's a very big problem. And what we found recently with a situation that we had is that a lot of the people at the airport that work for the government here don't know anything about asylum. I mean, they're supposed to, when someone comes in and says, I want to apply for asylum, they're supposed to arrange what's called a credible fear interview. And the people there had no idea. That was really an awakening for us that, you have people coming in, they may be turning people right around and sending them back on a plane back to where they came from. And they're not going to get any assistance at all because they don't know the right thing to say, because a lot of times the person they possibly bought the passport for told them, oh, don't tell them that you are afraid to go home because they won't let you stay. So let's say I came to work or I came to visit somebody, and then when they find out it's a fraudulent passport, they just send them back because the people are afraid to say why they actually came.
And be well and continue making straight A's, getting on the dean's list, working, being a fantastic citizen of this United States. Well, not quite yet, but soon, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a couple of, like a year.
In a year.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you came to this country, and I'm glad I know you. I'm honored to know you. Take care. I'll see you later.
I'll have to give you one more.
This is why I do this work.
Take care, Pat.
Tell this story everywhere you can. It's an important one. And Pat and I are going off to tell this story somewhere else, too. Yes, we do that. Thanks a lot. Take care. Nice to see you. You too.
I'll see you in church, yeah?
Yes.
All right, bye.